Okay, welcome everybody. Benoît Guihard from Atempo. I will speak with you about the new challenge of data protection with volume growth from terabyte to petabyte and exabyte in some case. So first time, speak a little about Atempo. Atempo is a French society born in 1992. A pure player, we only make data protection, data management, archiving, and we make it as a leader in Europe and as a specialist in Americas or in APAC. For you have the Swiss position, EMEA, so APAC and Americas. Some feedback about our customer is we have an exponential data growth since 10 years, 7 years in this slide. We have multiplied by 10 the volume of data generated each year. The 44 zettabyte is for 1 year's growth. Against this, we have a problem with cybercrime. We have 40% evolution of real problems since 2013. And we have a volume which are replicated in everywhere in the cloud. You have mobility, you have IoT, and this data make an evolution, thanks, about the volume. So as we can say, we have a reduction of the cost per terabyte of storage, but in the same time, we have an evolution of the global volume. So we have a problem with this, and we need to interact with this solution. We also have a big problem with this evolution. This is the explosion of backup windows. Now you have a lot of data to backup every day. You have a lot of data to backup every week. And in this case, customers say to us that 1 to 3 don't manage their backup because they can't comply the backup windows. Some other information, IDG research predicts by 93% of the data will be unstructured data, not block-based data as usual in the last 10 years, but unstructured data with an adoption of scalable solution with NAS, CFS, NFS, or cloud object. So this is another point to take in to manage. What Atempo can do? We do 3 things with unstructured data. We do data protection, storage optimization. We can manage the data from the source to the destination and do HSM for do economic storage. And we can manage data availability. We have the possibility to migrate data from one storage to another storage. We have possibility to make a clone from different storage and to manage the same value, the same data at different sites. For this, we have a simple architecture. We have primary storage, whichever you want, EasyLoan, NetApp, Cumulo or GPFS Luster, for example. Secondary destination, where you will backup or archiving your data. This can be cloud-based solutions. This can be object storage. This can be tape, or this can be disk, classic disk. We have ADA server. This is the server who manage all the movement, all the solution. And in fact, we create a pool, a data mover pool. This pool. We will manage the data from the primary source to the secondary source, but not also. We can do primary to secondary, backup or archiving. We can do secondary to primary, restoration, but we also can do primary to primary or secondary to secondary, migration and data movement. You have two interfaces, one admin interface to manage all the solution, and one user interface. In some case, main time with GPFS or Lustre, some customers have to manage their data and as a project. So they want to archive a project as soon as they finish. Sorry. A standby, and when OpenIO can help us, OpenIO can help us as target secondary backup or archiving, because we have a need. When we want to increase the throughput, we multiply the data mover. But we need a solution, a scale-out solution of backup, because we need to have a multiple axes for multi-threading and an optimized data flow. So this is why I let Philippe explain you their solution about us. Just some numbers. One data mover, our best performance with one data mover is move of 12 terabytes by hours from one data mover from source to destination. This is about 500,000 files of 1 mega. This is not only big files, this is a lot of multiple small files.
Okay, hello everybody. I'm Philippe Bouffet from OpenIO. I'm pre-sales engineer. So I will try to explain you why OpenIO SDS is a good solution, a good target solution for Atempo AD, and how we can help us to protect your data and scale the solution with your needs. So object storage solution has some very important components. First, we are scalable. We can start with a few nodes, with few capacity, and we scale at infinite if you want, and we can store lots of objects on this storage solution. We can start with some million of objects. They can protect to hundreds of billions of objects with this type of solution and scale with your needs. We see how your conscience technology can help us to manage all this part. So, second point, we are open source. We are using a lot of components you can find on the open source ecosystem, and we provide a good solution to manage your data. First, we are agnostic, so you can install the solution on any type of hardware, any type of provider. You can install it on Dell, on HP, on CIC. We can use Huawei hardware. We can mix different hardware providers on this type of architecture. And we manage all these components with the conscience, which is the brain of the solution. Third, we are using open standard protocol to access to the data. We support S3 and Swift, which can give you the best way to access to your data. And these protocols are supported by Atempo ADA, and the communication between ADA and our session is done by S3 and Swift. I don't remember if you support Swift or not. Just S3 today. Okay. So as we are using standard protocol, you are not locking to a solution, and if you have to migrate or to clone to your data to another solution, it's the best way to do this. Last thing, we are using gateways, and this gateway can scale with your needs in terms of performance, and we can put one gateway or several gateways for the data mover components and provide parallelism and performance when you need to have a small SLA and a very short backup window. So we provide a grid of nodes which are using to store your data, and you have an intelligent, smart way to place the data, serve the data with the conscience technology, because we place the data on the best nodes, on the best components of the platform, with a real-time algorithm which shows the best components, the best nodes of the platform, and serve the data with the best performance. If you have to scale your data, we are using conscience. It's the brain of our session, a smart algorithm which chooses the components. And when you add new components on this architecture, you don't need to rebalance the data. It means if you are existing data, you don't have to move the data to new components, because there is no need. The performance is managed by the conscience, and there is no need to rebalance the data on new components. So it's the best way to scale your architecture when you have to put new capacity, for example. Your open source is the best way, as I said before, to provide you with no overlooking and to have a lower TCO with this type of solution, because we are using commodity hardware with low cost than specific hardware like SAIN or NAS platform for storage. Last thing, as you say, we provide different mechanisms to protect your data. You are using erasure coding, we are using multi-copy, which we can choose the best way of the protection mechanism to protect your data, depending of the size of the data to protect, with a dynamic policy. If you have small object, we can use a multi-copy, but if your objects are larger, we can use erasure coding and provide the best way of overhead and the space consumed per object and the protection bring by this solution. And last thing, erasure coding, replication. We can do a replication if you need it to replicate the data to another data center, or it can be managed by ADA, Atempo.
Thanks. Some backup use case, for example. The first one is an European university, which have a 1 petabyte cluster of Isilon to backup to cloud storage, to object storage with a S3 connector. The main problem of this customer is about the incremental backup windows, because every day this is 5% daily change. So on 1 petabyte, this is almost 45 terabytes to backup in incremental backup every day. How we can help them? We use some specific development from Atempo, the FastScan, where we use it to increase the incremental time, the backup of the incremental to the preparation to know which part have to be backed or not. This is support on Isilon and NetApp from now, and coming soon on Panasas and Cumulo as a source. And the target, main advantage about S3 object target, this is incremental forever. We use incremental forever to reduce the time. Imagine if you have to make a petabyte full backup every week, the time you have to done it. Meanwhile, if we have a backup about 45 terabytes by hour with our solution, imagine the time to make it about 1 petabyte. This is not realistic. So they use incremental forever on this time. And another advantage about the object, about the tape, for example, this is we don't need a full backup, because with the object storage, we have a possibility to maintain a full backup on the target. Sorry. Which part the customer love about the solution? This is the on-demand restoration file by file. This is the main differentiator about NDMP. When you have to restore one file, you don't have to replay all the NDMP backup. We restore in one time the file directly for the users. And the second thing is this: we are agnostic about source and solution with the ACL. We can maintain ACL permission from source to destination, and the customer asks us to restore to another storage with the same ACL. We made it. We maintain ACL. We can do cross-platform restoration. This is one of the first things we have to retain. We make cross-restore with ACL. Another case, this time in USA. This is a semiconductor manufacturer. You have the same thing. You have 2 petabyte GPFS in this case, not standard NFS or CFS, and have the necessity to backup it on object storage S3. In this case, we use a fast scan using EML solution about GPFS. And we will have the same things, so the fast scan with Lustre on DDN, because since 2 months now, DDN buys the Lustre solution to Intel. Same advantage about object storage, incremental forever and no need of periodical full backup. And the same things, we have the ACL preservation. Another use in which we will have the necessity to use an object storage like OpenIO, this is the archive use case. This one is a large research hospital in USA. They have 2 things. They have to archive GPFS from 2 sources to only 1 destination. In this part, ADA helps them because we have a deep integration with their application and workflow. You can address ADA with command line, with CLI, with C, with HTTP, and with API. So we have a deep integration, mainly by our last experience with M&E. We have a lot in integration with M&E application. But we develop deep integration with other applications and other storage, source storage. Retention policy depending on their target, but not also the target. They also have a retention by source from one GPFS or other GPFS. The second thing, GPFS don't have the same retention, so you have to manage it on the same destination. And we keep the ACL in this case too, so the user cannot access from the other side. And deep, in this case, with our archiving, we push metadata because users have to enrich their data with metadata typically in the sequencing solution. And the performance, as I say to you, in this case, this is this case in which we achieve throughput about 63 terabytes per hour in backup in this solution, in archiving, in this solution. And if we need more and more throughput, we just need to add another data mover because, as I say, we work with a pool of data mover. When we add a new data mover in the pool, this automatically load balance against all the nodes of the pool. And this is why we need a storage solution with scale-out solution with scale-out possibility. In conclusion, big data is disruptive. As I say, we cannot backup petabyte as we backup classically a gigabyte. And our key benefits are, with one solution, we can backup, archive, copy, move, or synchronize. We don't speak about this because we don't do it with a cloud solution. We do it with a classic GPFS or NAS solution. Point in time and instant recovery, instant DR. This is one thing we do with GPFS. We can do an instant DR from the target, provide it as a read and write solution, and after the source storage is up and running, we synchronize in the other way, from target to source. Workflow integration and flexibility. So as I say, with every storage solution and with a lot of application. Open architecture, we are not storage provider locked. We work with everyone. We work with everyone in source and destination, but only some destination can have the scale-out solution. L'optimization about the performance, with a multi-thread and multi-data flow. And this is an Europe-based solution, so we are GDPR ready. And this is a thing we have to cut. And
yes. Okay. So why OpenIO as a storage solution for ADA, as a target solution? First, we're scalable, and we can scale the architecture of our solution with other architecture with no rebalancing. So you don't need a blackout window. You don't need to put your production stop your production of your backup architecture when you have to scale your platform. Everything is done automatically and with no interruption. We are open source, we are using open standard, so there is no vendor locking, and you have the control of your solution. And if you want to change, to swap your solution, you can do this in a simple way. We can provide parallelism with our architecture. If you need more performance, we can multiply the gateway with or align the same number of gateway or more than the ADA mover, and provide the performance and respect your SLA of your backup window. We have no SPOF. Our architecture is very available with a lot of mechanisms in terms of data protection, in terms of multiple nodes. There is no SPOF, no specific component which can be a SPOF on our solution. We provide a resiliency of your data stored on a solution with the data protection mechanisms as razor coding or multiple copies. And you have different mechanisms to be sure to provide safe healing of your data when you have to manage long-term retention or archiving, and to be sure that the data stored on your target solution are always ELF, with no problem with corrupted data, for example. And all these benefits is very important with this type of solution when you have to manage big data, big unstructured data with a lot of volume, a lot of petabyte, and you have to be sure that the data is good preserved on the solution. So the Atempo solution, as I say, only based on data management. You have 4 brand mark in the solution, Atempo solution. Time Navigator for servers, Live Navigator for endpoint, Digital Archive, which we said for large volume, and in last, we have Sinaway appliance for small business and medium business. So thank you very much.